What hello people of the internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. Okay guys, so for today's video, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we are continuing on the journey that is After by Anna Todd, and we are reading the sequel, After We Collided. Yeah, so I have this second book here. I was lucky enough that one of the girls I used to work with owned this book, so I was able to borrow it from her without actually going and buying it. So thankfully I had this. She actually said that she preferred this one to the first one. So I don't know, because I heard originally that it gets the series got better as it goes along. And then you guys in the comments of the last video were like, Kevin, it does not get better. Like, it doesn't. So I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm like, does it get better? Does it not get better? We'll have to wait and see. All I know is I have seen the trailer for the second movie and we see Dylan Sprouse in it as Trevor, and I love the Sprouse twins. Like, they were my childhood, so like Dylan Sprouse being in it is like everything to me because I loved him. He was always my favorite of the twins. So I'm excited to see the movie, but will the book be better? Probably not, because I did watch the After movie after I read the book, and I preferred the After movie to the book because the movie is less problematic. Like, it's way less problematic. It's definitely better. Not a great movie still, but it's still better than the book. Like, it's still nothing amazing, but it's definitely better than the book. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect with this one, but I do know it's just as long as the first one. How long is this? It is 671 pages. How long was After? Okay, so this one's like 80 pages longer than this one, so love that for me. Also, another thing that I only found out in the comments, and you guys and like so many people DM'd me about it, is that the rest of the One Direction members are in this series. How did I not know this? Like, I literally just thought it was just about Harry, like it was fanfiction of Harry. I just didn't know the rest of the One Direction members are in here. And like, my directioner, Har, is thriving knowing that. I can't even think of who everyone is. Someone told me. I know Zed, which is the other guy, kind of the other main guy that was in the first book. He is based on Zayn. I don't know who the rest are supposed to be. Like, I think it was Landon. One of them. Landon might be Liam. Bear with, I'm gonna just Google so we find out who everyone is.
A few moments later.
Doesn't say who everyone is. Okay, I found it. So it says, the characters you know now as Hardin Scott was originally Harry Styles. We know that. We've been knew that. In the book version of After, Zed is Zayn Malik. Okay, so I knew that. Landon is Liam Payne. I also knew that. Nate is Niall Horan. Okay, that makes more sense. Nate. I know Nate is like... Who is Nate? Who is Nate? That's the question. Who is Nate? Oh my god. No, Nate is her roommate's boyfriend. Yes? No. Maybe so. Who knows? Watching this back, it pains me to think that I thought Steph's boyfriend was Nate when it's clearly Tristan. I'm sorry. And it says Logan is Louis Tomlinson. Have no idea who Logan is. Okay, so I know who everyone is now. That's all we needed to know. I also just saw at the back of this book, it says hashtag Hessa. That's their ship name. I would have went with like Hardin. Which do I prefer, Hessa or Hardin? They're both not great, but Hessa I suppose is better, so hashtag Hessa. But I kind of hope it becomes like Trevessa, because I hope she goes to Trevor. She does not get back with Hardin because that is a toxic relationship that she does not need to get herself back into. But I already know that she's going to, so I'm really interested to see how it's going to work because I just really don't think they should be back together. It's such a toxic relationship. So I'm hoping that this is done well and it goes smoothly. And yeah, I already know she's going to get back together with him, and I'm already annoyed at Tessa for doing that. So here we go. Let's start reading After We Collided by Anna Todd. Sorry to interrupt real quick. Sorry, past Kevin. Future Kevin is interrupting you. I just wanted to come in here really quick just to let you guys all know that I have launched a Patreon, which I am so excited about. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I'm just so happy and excited that I finally did it. And I just wanted to mention it in a video in case you guys haven't seen it and you would like to go check out my Patreon and join. I'm gonna leave it linked down below in the description and you can go check it out for yourself, and if you want to join up, you can. There's no pressure whatsoever. If you do not want to, that's completely fine. Watching these videos here on YouTube and liking them and commenting is more than enough. This is just for anyone who wants some extra content from me. Also, nothing on my channel is going to be changing, so don't worry, nothing's changing. And yes, some of the things that you can find over on my Patreon is early access to videos, a monthly book club, live shows. This video, for example, my patrons got early access to it and they got to see it early. So yeah, if you would like to join the Patreon, the link is down below in the description. But also, once again, no pressure whatsoever. If you don't want to, that's completely fine, completely cool. Yeah, let's continue on with the video. I just wanted to make that announcement. Okay, here we go. So I've just changed into my fluffy hoodie again because it's actually cold. I was like contemplating when I was filming the intro, I was like, I'm gonna go read outside today. It's so sunny. Ireland is now cloudy and I'm pretty sure it's about to rain. That's typical Irish weather. So I'm gonna start the book. It says, to every single person reading this with so much love and gratitude. Oh, okay. That's so cute that she actually dedicated it to the readers. That's actually really cute. I really appreciate that. Oh no, 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 no. Literally go to the first page and it says prologue, and then right up at the very top, Hardin. But no, no, it's gonna be multiple POV. Oh no, I really don't wanna read through Hardin's perspective. I really don't. Okay, so basically that prologue and that chapter of Hardin was just him saying like, I caused this, I fucked up, I did all of this is my fault, I need to make up for it and apologize for what I did. Which, I'm glad he has that realization and he knows what he did was so bad and he realizes that he wants to fix it. Good on you. I just don't think Tessa should go back to him, but we'll keep going. Okay, so I'm up to page 9, not very far, but basically Tessa ended up going to Hardin's dad's house. His name is Ken, and she went there because that's also where Landon lives, and that's like her best friend is Landon. And so she's gone there to like escape everything because of what happened, because this literally takes off exactly where the last book ended. So she went to Landon because that was the only real safe place that she had to go to. So she's there, and then Hardin shows up because he's like, Tessa, we're going home, like you're coming home with me. But obviously she wants nothing to do with him right now. And then so like Ken and like Landon are all like, you need to leave and stuff like that. And then like Hardin punches the wall because why do people always do that? Why do you just punch the wall? I just don't understand why you punch the wall, but whatever. But basically Ken then says to Hardin, because he's like giving out to Hardin like saying you need to leave and like, oh, I can't believe you've done this to Tessa, whatever. And Ken goes, whatever you did to her, I hope it was worth losing the only good thing you had going for you. That's what Ken says to Hardin, but for some reason I just can't help. The minute I read that line, I started singing All Too Well by Taylor Swift. Because there's a line in the song All Too Well where it goes, because here we are again when I loved you so, back before you lost the one real thing you've ever known. It was rare, I was there, I remember it all too well. And that's literally what that line just gave me, because they literally said, worth losing the only good thing you had going, and it's literally like, when, before you lost the one real thing you've ever known. They connect, they are parallel, they come together, except I don't want Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, Harry Styles fanfiction. Sorry. It's all connecting, but I do not want Taylor Swift associated with this, so let's not do that. Okay guys, so I'm now up to page 34 and I just wanted to talk. Let's digress, shall we? I'm not gonna lie, something just happened and I am catching feelings. Like I just got that like realization, like that moment where I'm just like, yes, I'm here for this. That's what I just got. Because like I said earlier, I did watch the movie and I preferred the movie. Like the movies I think will be a guilty pleasure, just like how the 50 Shades of Grey movies are a guilty pleasure, but the books, not it. So I think that's gonna be the case with After and like this series. I think the movies I will like and they'll be like a guilty pleasure, but the books, different story. So from that, when I saw the trailer for the second one, and obviously when I saw Dylan Sprouse, as I've already said, he was my childhood, loved him, he was always my favorite twin. We all know this. I was like just waiting when I picked this up. I was like, oh my god, how long am I gonna have to wait until Trevor comes into it, because that's who Dylan Sprouse plays, like that's his character, is Trevor. And Trevor is this guy that works with her in her publishing internship, so just in case you want some background to who Trevor was. And so where I am right now on page 34, she has just bumped into Trevor, and that is because she is now staying at a motel because she doesn't want to stay in her apartment with Hardin for obvious reasons. The reason that I'm so happy and like thriving right now is because she's with Trevor, she's at the motel, and he is also at the motel. Basically, she dropped one of her bags in the snow and Trevor went to pick it up. This is literally what it says. Just as I think my day could not get any worse, I lose my grip on one of my bags and drop it onto the snowy sidewalk. My clothes and a few books topple out of it onto the wet snow. I scramble to pick them up with my free hand, but I'm afraid to see which books they are. I don't think I can take my favorite possessions being ruined alongside me. Not today. Not today! Sorry, just had to sing BTS. Here, let me help you, miss, a man's voice says as a hand reaches down to help me. Tessa? Shocked, I look up to see blue eyes and a concerned face. Trevor? I say, even though I know it's him. I stand upright and look around. What are you doing here? I'd ask you the same thing, he smiles. Well, I take my bottom lip between my teeth, but he saves me from having to explain myself. Like, it just has that moment, you know, like in all the good like rom-com movies when like someone drops something and it's like, oh, miss, I think you dropped this, and then they have like that eye contact, and that's what I'm getting. That is the vibes I am just like experiencing right now, and I am here for it. So like, I will ship Trevessa, as I've already said. Trevessa is what I'm here for. We do not want Hessa or Hardin. We are here for Trevessa. Even though I really don't know who Trevor is yet. Like, he could end up being trash as well. Really hoping he doesn't, but we shall see where it's gonna go, but I'm living. Hardin who? It's all about Trevor. Okay guys, so it is now bedtime. I sound like a child when I said that. It's bedtime, but you know what I mean. It's bedtime. Basically what has happened is Hardin showed up at Tessa's like internship place where she is, like the publishing house. And he basically was like, I need to talk to you because you're not answering your phone or anything like this. And Trevor was like giving her a lift back to the motel that I was telling you she was staying at because her car is not working. And so she was getting a lift home with Trevor because she got a lift into the internship with him, and then she was getting a lift home with him. And then Hardin got annoyed because he was like, where do you think you're going with him? And I'm like, Hardin, that doesn't concern you anymore because Tessa, I'm pretty sure, has broken up with you, so it doesn't concern you. And basically Tessa and Hardin were having this big like face-off like argument together, and some of the things Tessa said I was kind of happy to hear her say, because I was like, yes, 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 valid points you are making, honey, get it. Even though I'm really happy that she said what she said, I just know later on and probably in the book it's all gonna just go out the window kind of thing. Like, I just have that vibe. They're just like still like arguing about everything that happened at the end of the first book, and basically Hardin says like how, oh Tessa, you have no idea how like I have been doing the last few days. I can't sleep and everything. Like, I've been doing so bad. And then Tessa goes, what it's been like for you? How could he be so selfish? What do you think it's been like for me, Hardin? Imagine how it feels to have your life completely ripped apart within hours. Imagine how it feels to be so in love with someone that you give them everything only to find out it was all a game, a bet. How do you think that feels? I take a step toward him, my hands moving frantically between us. How do you think it feels to lose my relationship with my mother over someone who could give less of a shit about me? How do you think it feels to be staying in a goddamn motel room? How do you think it feels to try to move on from this when you keep showing up everywhere? You just don't know when to stop. And I was just like, you know what? Good for you. I really liked that for Tessa. As we all know, I'm not a big fan of Tessa as a person. Like, some of the things she does, like, I don't like the slut shaming and all that kind of stuff, and like how she cheated on her boyfriend and all that kind of things. Like, I don't like that about her, but the fact that she like stood up for herself there and like actually was like to him, okay, hold on a minute, don't manipulate this into making me feel bad for you when you made me feel like a piece of shit. And she called him out for that, and I am here for that. I was like, yes, yes, get it, honey. But basically where I am now is Tessa is going on this business trip to Seattle with her boss and Trevor and Kimberly, and that's what's happening. That's where I'm up to. But I just really wanted to talk about that whole scene and when like she confronts him and like calls him out on his manipulation, because I was here for that. Anyways, I'm gonna read some more. I might check out to page like 100 or so before I go to bed. But yeah. I'm already thinking about how I know she's going to get back together with him, and I'm just like, we've made so much progress, Tessa. Why do this? Okay, so I just got up to page 104 of the book. So I did reach the 100 mark before I went to sleep. So love that for me. We love some progress. And basically I just want to talk about some things because a lot just happened in that amount of time since I last spoke to you. Basically, as I've already said, Tessa went to Seattle with Kimberly, Mr. Vance and Trevor for like this conference thing, like a weekend conference that they're doing for the publishing and whatever. And so one of the nights that they're there, they decide to go to a nightclub and stuff. And then Tessa gets drunk because she was drinking loads of Sex on the Beach. And I feel like people know where I'm going with this. She ends up drunk calling Hardin. Like, she rings him and he doesn't answer, and I was like, oh my god, okay, maybe it won't happen. But then he rings her back and she answers, and then she starts talking to him, and he's like, where are you drunk? What's happening? And she's like, yeah, I am drunk. And then she hangs up on him, and then whatever, she gets more drunk and everything, and she goes to the dance floor by herself, and she ends up like dancing with this guy, and then she kisses the guy, and then the guy's like, oh, you want to come back to my place? And she's like, ew, no. And then at like 3 o'clock in the morning, she's woken up because someone's banging at the door, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be Hardin. But luckily it was just Trevor, because Trevor came because I think Tessa had his phone. So that was happening. And then another person bangs on the door, and I was like, oh, this is going to be Hardin. Of course it is, because Trevor just came into her room, and now Hardin's going to walk in and see them, and he's going to think all these different things. And of course, it was Hardin. First of all, of course, he's that controlling guy who has to hunt down and find where she is and then come and get her, kind of thing. Already hate that. It just gives me major Christian Grey vibes. And then basically he sees that Trevor's there, and he goes to like attack Trevor, but then Trevor ends up leaving because Tessa's like, leave him alone, whatever. So then stuff starts happening. Tessa is like still drunk, and she's like really in the mood to, you know, do the things. Then Hardin's like, no, I don't want to take advantage of you while you're drunk and all this kind of stuff. Basically she's like, you can either have sex with me or leave, and they end up having sex. And then the next morning she wakes up and she like hates herself for doing it, and then she's like to Hardin, why did we do that? Why did you not just leave? Like all this kind of stuff. Stuff about Trevor comes up, and they all like say like how their relationship is not going to work and like all that kind of stuff. And then basically what happens, I want to read it out. So Tess is just like, because it's not good for either of us to be around the other. He smiles, those evil dimples coming out. You know that's not true. Yes it is. No, will you please just go? You don't mean that. I know you don't. You knew what you were doing when you said let me stay. No, I didn't. I whine. I was intoxicated. I didn't know what I was doing at all last night, from kissing that guy to letting you in. So she basically just spilled that she kissed another guy in front of Hardin. Like, that was a big and I oop moment. And then he just goes, what did you just say? And then she goes, nothing. And then he goes, you kiss someone? Who? Wow, you are unbelievable. My Tessa would never kiss a fucking stranger at a club. He barks. And then she goes, there is no your Tessa, I tell him. Which, if you've seen the trailer for After We Collided, that's in the trailer where like Josephine Langford is like shouting, and she goes, there is no your Tessa. And it was like one of the highlights of the movie trailer, not gonna lie. I'm really glad that that's also in the book, and I like that. That's basically what happened. Like, literally so much tea. I'm only 104 pages into it and so much has happened. But my whole Trevessa life is about to start like taking off, and I'm so excited because Trevor like asked Tessa did she want to go for dinner with him, and he's picking her up at 6:30. I'm very excited for this date, even though I don't know if she thinks it's a date or not, but I ship it. I just really want this to happen. I know it's not going to. Like, I just know it's not going to. Obviously, she's going to get back together with Hardin, but I want Trevor and her to be a thing. Okay, guys, so it's the following night, like next day, next night, if that makes sense. And I read more of After We Collided today, but I just didn't vlog anything, and I apologize for that, but I didn't really have much to say. Like, nothing really happened that I was like, ooh, juicy tea. But I'm up to page 161 now of the book, and I just want to say like what's been happening and where I am right now. So not much has happened. Like, actually, that's a lie. Kind of stuff has happened, but nothing that like has like shook me or anything like that. Basically, it's like Christmas time right now, and Hardin's mother is over from London visiting and stuff, and she still thinks that that Tessa and Hardin are still together, and Hardin never told them that they like broke up or whatever. And so Tessa was in her and Hardin's apartment like getting her stuff to leave. And then Hardin and his mum walked in, but Tessa thought that Hardin was in London because he was originally meant to go there for Christmas, but he didn't end up going. So Hardin and his mum walks in, and Tessa's like, ooh, this is awkward. And then Tessa's mom's like, oh my god, Tessa, how are you, honey? And Tessa's just like, this is really awkward. And I'm like, this is awkward to read. So that happens, and then basically Hardin's like, I didn't know what to tell her. I will tell her though, I'm so sorry. Like, does this mean you're getting back together with me because you're in the apartment? And she's like, no, I didn't think you were going to be here. I thought you were in London. And then basically she ends up going back to her mother's for Christmas, and then her mother, I really cannot stand Tessa's mom. Like, she's such an annoying character. She basically drops this like bombshell on Tessa that like her dad is back in the picture, because in the first book I believe we found out like Tessa's dad just like left them. We didn't really, I don't know if we got much about it. I can't really remember, to be honest, but I know like her dad wasn't really in the picture, and we found out that he's actually moved back to Washington, and Tessa's mom knew that, but she never told Tessa, and then Tessa found out, and then Tessa got very upset, and then she went back to Hardin and Hardin's mom and cried, and Hardin comforted her. And now they're back in like this weird thing where it's like, are they back together? Are they not? We both know they're going to get back together. As much as I don't want it to happen, it's gonna happen. So that's really where I am with the story so far. I'm gonna continue reading and I'll update you guys in a little bit. They're officially back together, or I don't know if you'd say they're back together. Like, they're going back to each other, but like they're taking it slow because of everything that's happened. And yeah, I feel like I'm at a point where I accepted that was gonna happen. Like, I knew that was gonna happen, that it's not bothering me, like, because I just knew it was gonna happen. Even though I don't like that it happened, I just knew it was going to. So my Trevessa wish has gone down the drain. I'm sad. Okay guys, so it is the next day and I don't even have words right now. So, Hardin Scott. What just happened is Tessa's mom showed up at Hardin and Tessa's like apartment, where also Hardin's mom is staying with them. And she shows up because Tessa didn't come home for Christmas because it's Christmas Eve, and she's like, why are you not coming home? And then Tessa's just like, because I don't want to. And then her mom is just like, no, you're not staying with that trash of a boy. Like, you're not ruining your life for him and all this kind of stuff. And then basically Hardin's mom, Trish, stands up for Hardin because obviously that's her son. She's gonna stand up for him. And she's like, don't speak to my son that way and stuff like that. And then Tessa's mom is just like, oh, like you don't know what's just happened between them. How could you even look at your son that way after what he did to my daughter? And then basically Tessa's mom tells Trish, Hardin's mother, everything, like literally everything about the bed, about the sheets, about the used condom, everything. And then like Trish gets so upset and looks at Hardin just like, how could you do this? But then she says, this is, just wait, if you haven't read this book, when I read what I'm about to read, you're going to be just as shocked as I am. How could you, Hardin? She cries. I had hoped you were different now. I hoped you had stopped doing things like this to girls, women. Have you forgotten what happened last time? Last time? What? I don't want to keep reading. Like, what is gonna happen? What is last time? What is it? Like, oh no. I really thought like the bet was the worst it could get. Like, I didn't think it could get any worse like than that. I thought like maybe the book would get more repetitive and stuff and that would bother me. I didn't know there was a last time, like something else he has done. I'm actually like, what am I about to read? Because the last time, my last time with this book, when I read something that was like a big reveal, I got disgusted because I found out about the whole bet situation that I never thought was coming. Like, I did not expect that. So I don't even know what to expect right now. I can't even look at the book. I'm like holding her away and just not looking at her. I'm like, no, no eye contact. You are Medusa. I will turn into stone. And last time, I just can't process that. We're about to go find out what the last time was. Okay, so nothing was revealed, but Tessa went in on her mother and was like, I hate you, I hate you. This is why dad left in the first place, it's all because of you. I feel like that awkward moment, you know when you're in your friend's house and you see like them getting in trouble by like their parents or something, or like there's some like bickering happening and then you're just there. That's how I feel reading this, because they're like fighting and stuff. I'm just like, should I leave? That's how I feel. But anyways, not much revealed, so I'm gonna keep reading, and when something gets revealed, I will let you guys know. Okay, so I'm on page 226 and I'm on a chapter that's written in Hardin's POV, and what he just said to Tessa's mom, basically he's telling off Tessa's mom because Tessa was saying stuff like, I hate you and everything to her mom, and then Hardin pulled her away and put her in her room so she wouldn't say anything that she regretted. But then he comes out and he basically tells her like to leave and stuff, and that's saying like, oh, she's always gonna pick me over you and all those kinds of things. And then Tessa's mom calls him the devil and says, I knew you were trouble the first time I saw you. Another Taylor Swift lyric, I knew you were trouble, we stand. So basically Tessa's mom says to him, you are the devil and I'm not going to just go away. She is my daughter and she's too good for you. I nod my head several times quickly, then look at her flatly. I'll make sure to remember that when I'm burying myself into your daughter tonight. I have no words. Okay, so we just found out what the last time was, and basically, I'm still just as disgusted as I was by the end of the last book, but we're going to talk about it right now. So basically, he used to do the same kind of thing that he did with Tessa, where there was like a bet to see who could sleep with this girl or whatever, and show proof. And that's what he did back in London when he lived in the UK or whatever. And then it got to a point where some of the proof just wasn't good enough, and so he started to record the people that he was sleeping with. And he did this with a girl named Natalie. He recorded him having sex with her, and then he sent that video to all of his friends, like with the proof and everything. And then because this other guy in his friend group wanted to have sex with the same girl and she said no, he then leaked the video and it went like all around their area where they were living, and she was like a really religious family, so they weren't happy about it and they kicked her out of the house. He keeps saying, like he said like, oh, that's in my past, please just let it go. No, no, no. I can't let it go, I'm sorry. I'm not Elsa and I'm not letting it go. Obviously he did something very similar to Tessa, so like it's not in your past, like it's clearly still something that you do, so how is anyone supposed to believe you? And like it's just disgusting, and no, you basically, no, no. He's trash, he's literally trash. I think he is probably the character I hate the most out of all of the books I've ever like read. Like he's worse than Edward, he's worse than Jacob, he's worse than Christian Grey. Just no. So guys, I am now up to page 349 of the book. It's also the next day. And where I am in the book right now is basically, it is like New Year's Eve and everything. And Hardin and Tessa decided to go to like a house party like they used to do in the first book, you know, reconnecting with all of the friends, all of the toxic friends. Love that. And so they're there, and then Tessa gets drunk while Hardin's off doing something. Like who knows what he's doing, but he's doing something. And basically Tessa's like really drunk and Hardin's not, and they decide to play a game of Truth or Dare. Now you're probably thinking, why on earth would they play that game, and who would suggest to play that game? Tessa suggested they play Truth or Dare because it went so well for you the last time, Tessa. Like, why are you playing Truth or Dare? Like, whatever, they play Truth or Dare. Molly asks her a truth saying, are you stupid for like getting back with Hardin, basically. And then Tessa basically says Truth or Dare back to Molly and asks Molly a truth of, are you a whore? And once again we're back to the slut shaming, and then there's like a big fight between them and the girl on girl hate, and now it's at the point where I'm just mad at Tessa again. It's just so funny how it, like you're at one point like you're mad at Hardin, and then it's just like, oh, Tessa's turn, time for you to be angry at Tessa. And this is what I mean, like they're both trash that maybe they are just they deserve to be with each other because they're both just not great humans and like they don't deserve to be with someone else, so let them be with each other. But yeah, it is still just addicting to keep going and just to see what mess is going to keep unfolding. Like that's the only reason I keep going, because I'm just like, okay, what else is going to happen? Like surely it can't get worse from here, and then every time it does, and yeah. I'm gonna continue. Okay guys, so I'm now up to page 429. Tessa basically, remember how I was saying like Hardin was gone away somewhere in the party and we didn't know where he went? But he was with this girl that's one of his friend's sisters that he slept with before or did something bad to, and he was basically apologizing to her because he had apologized to Tessa and told her all about it, so he wanted to make like amends. Then Tessa saw him and the girl, and he goes to the girl, oh please don't let anyone know that we were in this bedroom together. And then she says, I never kiss and tell. So Tessa then thought that that meant that they were like kissing or whatever in the bedroom. And then she goes off running away from Hardin because she's so angry, finds this random boy and she just starts making out with him. And I'm like, she just goes off and cheats again. They're just as bad as each other. This is what I mean. Like, I just don't know anymore. They're just so... They're just bad people, both of them. Like, it just keeps getting progressively worse and more things just happen, and I just can't look away because I'm just like, oh my god. Like, it's just so bad watching them just, you know, deteriorate and just get worse. But everyone said like they were supposed to come together at some point. Like, where? When is that going to happen? I thought this was after we collided, like they weren't going to keep colliding, but they are colliding, and they're colliding hard.
A few moments later.
Hello everyone. So it's been a while since I last updated. Basically, the repetition of this book, it's gotten to me, and I've had it. I've had it. So I am actually nearly finished the book. I only have like 100 pages left. I'm up to page 564. So literally almost finished. It's just so repetitive. Like, they just keep getting like, oh, I'm so sorry, I will never do this again. Then they do it again, and then they get back together again, then they break up again, and then they get back together again. And then it's literally like, we can't keep doing this. Like, it's just not right the way you're treating me. And it's just like, well then stop. Just stop. Like, just stop. Now where I am, basically they are going on like their first date officially, because Landon and Hardin were talking, and Hardin was like, what could I do? And he was like, why don't you do something you've never done and ask her on a date? So now they're going on a date. That's where I am right now. But also, something else that happened earlier in the book that's so stupid is Hardin got mad at one point because Tessa was asleep on the couch and she whispered Zed, like Zed's name, in her sleep. And so Hardin got all angry, and like, I'm just out here thinking, he is having the equivalent of like someone dream cheating on you. And I'm just like, he says that to Landon at one point, and Landon's like, do you realize how stupid you sound right now? And I was like, thank you, Landon, for coming through. He got so angry over the fact she said someone's name in her sleep, and he was like, she clearly loves Zed more than me, like she said his name in her sleep. And I'm just like, I say probably anything in my sleep. It does not mean anything. Like, I could say, I don't know, what can I say in my sleep? Honestly, my sleep mainly consists of chicken nuggets. Wow, I'm really hungry right now, and thinking about chicken nuggets is great. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so stupid. And he ended up then going to like a bar, and then he was staying in a house with some girl, and he didn't sleep with her or anything. And Tessa was worried because she woke up and Hardin had left. Then Tessa got into a car accident, and then Tessa thinks that he cheated on her. Then they like break up. He goes to London. He wallows in his self-pity. She wallows in her self-pity. And now we're back to where we are, and they've tried to resolve everything again. Like, how many times can someone just break up and then get back together in 2 books? I'm gonna go finish the book, and then I'll come back to you with my final thoughts. So I have finished it, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm so annoyed because I want to know what's gonna happen next. But I don't know if I want to continue with the series because I'm so over the repetitiveness. Like, I'm literally so done with it. I want to know what's gonna happen from that ending. Basically, everything else that happened is like Hardin and Zed got into a big fight. Hardin like beat him up and like broke his nose and stuff and like nearly was threatening to kill him and like destroyed property on the college and hurt a professor. And then like he was in jail and Zed was going to press charges and then he would actually go to proper jail, not just college jail. But then Tessa convinced Zed not to press charges. And so that happened. And also Tessa is moving to Seattle for her publishing job, but Hardin also doesn't know about that yet. And then right at the end, they're walking out at this tattoo studio because Hardin just got this new tattoo on his back and they bump into like this homeless man and it ends up being Tessa's dad. Literally plot twist. So yeah, that's where it ended on that cliffhanger, and that's why I'm like, I kind of want to read the next one, but I also don't, because I've said it with the repetitiveness and just their toxicity, I just don't even want to care anymore. But yeah, I have finished it. I think you can tell from my reactions how I feel about this book. I'm not going to give it a rating once again on Goodreads. It is what it is. I read it. Don't recommend it. There you go. She's done. And I have definitely collided with you. That is gonna be it for the end of this video, guys. Let me know down below in the comments if you have read this book and what you thought of it yourself. Are you gonna go see the new movie? I do think I will see the movie at some point. Don't know when, but I definitely will see it at some point. And yeah, like I said, just let me know down below in the comments your thoughts, and I shall see you all next time for my next video. So goodbye, guys.